That I was born in 1926 and my wife was born in 1930. And we were raised in what was called the Great Depression. The United States underwent a terrible depression from 1929 to 1940. And we were not raised in bounty. Our families were economical. We were thrifty. We were okay. We had food on the table, and maybe that was better than many in the United States. But that was a very serious depression. We had a recession in 2008. That was nothing compared to those 10 years of real American trouble.
People were coming to our doors begging to do work just for food.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, they would mark the telephone poles in front of the homes that were generous with food and help. So that the tramps and people coming through, they would come on the railroad cars. Just
Looking for
around,
work.
looking for anything.
Anything for food.
Yeah.
It's tough, very tough.
It was really bad then.
Her father held several jobs in order to put food on the table.
Yeah.
And my dad was fortunate. He only had to do one job. But people were really scratching for food.
It was bad. There were people that went hungry in this country during the Depression.
And it lasted for 10 years. Really tough.
We were called Depression babies.
I think it was shocking to a lot of people in the United States because it was the first time that someone has done some some very visible terrorism on our within our borders. And we've had there were other things like there was the Oklahoma City bombing, but it turned out that it was, while people suspected it was maybe terrorists, it was really some, unhappy U.S. citizens that had decided to, to do something they didn't like towards, our society and infrastructure. So this was the impact there was that it said, it showed us that we're not immune from some of the tougher things that are going on elsewhere in the world.
Increase in terrorism, that increased the kind of security issues and all that. So it was the same kind of effect that anybody would have. There was not a direct impact. Mixed feelings. Terrorism is never good, never the right answer for anything. But one has to take into account why terrorists arise and what was the root cause of the terrorists. And certainly the United States has had an impact in the world in the way in the early 1900s or even till mid-1900s, the kind of impact and the kind of the way they treated the rest of the world has engendered some amount of hate, which should never result in killing anybody else. So there's no excuse for terrorism, but one has to understand the roots of terrorism to be able to try and deal with it.
I see, in traveling and the security just in any public areas, it has impacted me. When I first heard that it happened, I thought it was a joke.
At that time, but I think just experiencing society since then has definitely, it's always there. It's always a reminder, everyone, we celebrate it once a year, commemorate those who died and just the whole event. Definitely airport security, just defense of the nation and just overall national security has definitely increased. And I feel like there are definitely increases in stereotypes and just general things like that have escalated since.
It just made me very sad to think that there were people that could hate the U.S. that much. And I still don't know why they hate us, but they do. What was that? They were... What country were they from anyway? Which one?
There were a lot of them from
Were they from
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, Syria,